let's talk about that for a minute. You talked about different people and their different needs, and I'm sure there's a lot of different kinds of investment strategies. What are some of the main investment strategies that you utilize and successful investors utilize, and how do they differ in terms of uh, risk and return?
I think that's a lot of strategies, and I think this is the beauty of this business that it has a very diversible way to invest your money and your time. I'm going to name some of the most common, and they had one strategy that's called wholesale. I'm going to explain a little bit later about that. The long or short-term rentals, fix and flip, commercial. We have development, and that well, and there are more and more and more. But I would like to concentrate in the three first one, that is wholesaling, the rentals, and the fix and flip. That is more common and popular right now, and that's one of the best strategies to start if you want to think to become an investor. So the wholesaling, we need to, I think, to start to define what is the wholesaling for, because maybe some people doesn't know what is wholesaling means, right? And I think that wholesaling involves funding a discounting property and entering in the contract and to purchase contract, and instead to close you by yourself that contract, you find an end buyer and you get a profit in between. So I think that most people like this one because they don't have to start with money. Because it's nothing, maybe it's a very small cost that you had to pay. This just depends on how you close. But it's you going only to assign the contract to somebody else, it's only include your fee, and that's it. I mean, you get your fee and buy a buyer, find a buyer, find a seller buyer, and you in between, and you get your profit and bye-bye, and you don't have to put any money in it. So that's a beautiful strategy, especially for those who are thinking to start without money, or thinking to just to start in this business. It has here how different the other ones. Every strategy has the pros and cons, right? And I think the pros for this strategy that's can minimize risk. You don't have to buy the property. You don't have to rehab the property. And even though you don't have to present money to close the property because you're not the end buyer, right? And that's many different ways, and you can do this one as well. For us, we don't really like to do assigned contracts. It just depending on the deal. Most of what we do that we buy the property and then we sell it because we get more profit at the end. But sometimes we had to assign it because it's not much that the number is going to tell us which way to go, right? The cons on this one, that's not sufficient networking. You have to find sellers, you have to find buyers, and this is a very demanding thing. Is so people that say, "Oh, that's easy, let's go and do it," and then so for some, it's taking a year or two just to get that list of buyers and sellers, and it's just depending how eager do you want to do. So also the lack of knowledge, this could be a common. You don't know how to do those contracts or find the right title company that can help you and close those kind of deals. It's gonna be a challenge there, right? And also the marketing skills. You have to find how you're going to market when you have a contract. So it's to find those buyers. And some marketing tools that you had, maybe you don't know how even can do it, or to where can you present, market those deals is hard. So networking is the biggest in this strategy.
Explained wholesaling pretty well. I've done a lot of wholesaling myself, and I wish somebody had broken it down that concisely for me when I started, because it was a big learning process.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about first on rentals. Because I mean, for fix and flip, that was my biggest one. So I want to spend a little more time on this one. So the short terms, short or long terms, that's what most people like to start as well, because they want to buy the house. You buy the house, you rental. You want to find the rentals for that, and it's the way that you build well through the years, right? Through the years, because you're going to have the cash flow, you're going to have the equity amount, and the house. It's a lot of pros in that strategy, but stay as well. It has some cons. I also, one of the other pros is the appreciation of the home, right? So what is the rental means? That you buy the house, you when you buy the house, that means that you need to have your financials in order, that you need to have your good financial institution that can help you with that. Find a good house and a good price to be able to rental and really buy it good. That's every strategy. If you buy good, for sure you're gonna have a profit at the end. So that's I guess there are many strategies as well in how you can buy a home. So if you buy good, so you're going to look at, even if it's short term or long term, you're going to look it up on that. What is the cons on this one? That so many people say, "Oh my goodness, I don't want to go to that route." Is one of the things is the property management. Is requiring a property management. I mean, there are so many people that start only with one and end with one because they don't know how to really treat the tenants, how they can find a good tenants. It takes a system. It's not easy. Oh, I can find this person. Oh, that it's not. It's take a system. You don't want to spend all the time for every tenant to call about do a background check, do everything. That's a time consumed for you. That's why many people hire a professional, a property management company that they can do for them, right? So if you're looking to build a business, you need to look it up. Okay, this is what I need. But if you're looking only to do and invest only one or two or three, maybe, and what is still a management that you had to know and do. Financial consideration, that's another probe and another comment in this strategy is this strategy, that's the strategy that they need more money to be able to have more houses. So you maybe have I had enough money, you can buy one, you have to pay the whole thing on one, and you don't have to give it for the second one. So that's why you need to have your financial straight and always separate something for unexpected things, because always is going to be happen with a house. And finding the tenants, the right tenants, that's another comment. You don't find the right tenant and you don't follow a process and how you can find that, people be going crazy. And some people, you don't have the right tenant, they can destroy your property, or they cannot pay the rent. That's the worst things. So that's a system, and I think that's why I professionals that can help you with it. So now the other one is fix and flip. Fix and flip involves a portion of property that are in need. Actually, for every strategy, we're looking for those houses that are in need. But especially in this strategy, you need to target a distressed properties. Why? Because they are the houses that they need help and they need a renovation, or they need an adding value at the end. So improving the skill. What happens? So you and just to understand what's flipping. So you buy a house, a distressed property. You're looking for that. That's part of the diligence that you had to do. Find a good properties. Improving them does mean that you need to put money for renovate them. So when it's come to renovation, you need to know what you're doing. You need to know what you're doing, because otherwise you may be ending and no adding any value, and you spend a lot of money, and even you're not adding value to that property. So you need to know what you're doing, and then you're selling for profit. It's a short term, and you can have your cash running quickly. So that's why for me it's exciting. I wish that I started in a younger age so I can maybe start with rentals. But now flipping, I want to see my money on my bank. So that's why I spend looking for the right deal with adding value. There's many strategies that you need to know in renovation. You need to know having the good people, having the good workers, the good contractors, and how and do a little analysis in what you need to do. It takes a experience, and it takes a people close to you that can help you to start with. So, what is the pros in this one? A higher potential returns, shorter investment horizon in a short time, so you'll be able to see your money quickly. What could be the cons? That you need to spend more time than in another strategy. You need to spend more time involved in the process of this. A higher risk for someone, it just depends in how prepared you are. But if you want to start doing this without knowledge, for sure you're going to risk more. So as soon as you get the knowledge and you get expert, you minimize risk, minimize a lot of risk. Another, that's the financial considerations. It's not only to buy the property, so you have to have the money to buy the property and the money for the rehab. So I saw many investors that I find my first flip it home and everything. They buy it and they get short at the end and renovations. And that's pastime, and that's the worst thing. I mean, in here you playing two things: the money and the times that it has to be fixed and sell it. If you don't do that in 4 months, you're losing money. You're gonna lose money. So it's definitely in need of an experienced people close to you that can help you to do this in a very profitable way.
Are there any other strategies that you want to talk about? Maybe like subject to or anything like that?
Well, this is this is a strategy for buying a property. And this, I think that we're going to talk this at the end, but we can do this in here because I think that we are talking about strategy, so we can see that. So subject to, there may be a concept for many, especially for those that are new in this business, that they say, and I happened to me when I started, what does that subject to means? What is that? I mean, I never heard about that. I never heard about the risk, and I never anything about that. So when they say about subject to, I went to the seminary, and that was a presenter. It was a very experienced guy, and he says the way that he presented it says, I never use a bank to do my 150 so and so deals. And I said, how is that? And I say, because I do everything by subject to. I say, oh, wow, I just so eager to find out about that. And I say, oh, I'm going to use that on my business. And that's what I did. What is a subject to? Let's to understand what is a subject to and means, so we can be in one page. So I have it in here so I cannot lose myself on my context. So, okay, subject to. Okay. Subject to technique is a real estate investing that involves the acquiring the property but leaving the existing mortgaged. So people say, oh, what is that? So how you can buy the properties and live in the system mortgage? Yeah. So that's mean that you own the house, the property, the title of the house is going to be in your name, but the loan is still in the owner's name, and you took over the mortgage. You're still paying the mortgage. It's not like you're not going to pay the mortgage. You're going still to pay the mortgage. What do you is required to have that? You need to really understand, because not every property can be subject to. There are some challenges, and there are some things that you need to know. And one of the things is to find a motivated seller. I think the first step, let's find a motivated seller that really wants to sell their home. So as soon that you go and do the skill and the property, go and look at the property and everything. So you started negotiating. And part of the negotiation is that we always present it to them. What that means, what is the pro when I took over the mortgage? That means that I don't have to come with the whole money to pay for the home. So I am doing in payments because I'm going to continue to pay that. So my negotiation with the seller, how much he wants in his packet. So that's what I'm going to negotiate. Instead to pay 150, 200, that is now, because we can, whatever it is, I paid only maybe 20 or 30 that he wants in his packet. And I continue to pay the mortgage on time. Timely. And I want to emphasize on that, because if you don't pay it on time, that's where the problems start. So that's one of the things. How to master debt? You need to create your team, and part of that team, it has to be your title company. Not every title company is going to close deals as a subject to. So you need to find a good title company with a good expert escrow agent that can understand the process and make that everything legal and then everything transparent. So that's the portion. So if you buy that, so that means that you don't have to spend the money in only one house. So with you thinking to spend money in one, you can buy another one at the same time at the subject to, and another one. If you have $100,000, I mean, you can buy that's only 20,000 over here, 20,000 over here, 30 over here, and you buy 3 properties with $1,000. That's the benefit of subject to. So, but you need to have the experience and as well the advice from people who's been doing it, because that's a lot of risk as well. And on this strategy, one of the strategies that some people say, oh, this is illegal because in the contract say that is a due clause that is in there, and you're unable, if the title is going to close for me and it's a subject to, and I promise that I'm going to pay monthly payments timely, and I had to do an escrow account as well. That's another thing. If you want to find more about subject to, I think that we need to dedicate only a portion for subject to only, so we can talk everything, the pros, the cons, the everything about it. But most like it is that one of the best strategies to buy homes for any kind of strategy that you're going to do with that home after the purchase.
Yeah, that sounds pretty complicated, and does sound like you need a lot of experience. Let me go off script for just a second. You've talked a lot about a lot of different strategies, and you've talked a lot about having the experience and the knowledge. What can a new investor that doesn't have the experience or the knowledge, what can they do to get that experience and that knowledge?
Yeah, sure. I mentioned in the beginning in my introduction that we have a system in that we prepare people who wants to start in this business. We have a training system, but what they can do if they don't maybe wants to do it that way is to start. I think that they get involved with people in this business. Go to the meetings. There's a lot of meetings around the area. Go to the real estate clubs. Going in internet now is offering a lot of things in the over the internet. There's a lot of programs around that they can help you with. But I mean, at the end, they're going to take the decision with who and with what clue they're going to do. What we do for them is we have a system that we create special for people who wants to become a real estate business. And we not only teaching them lessons, we give them the opportunity to be part in of real trainings, in a real transactions, and they can see how we can negotiate with people. It's not a video for them. Is they can go with me and actually help them. Let's go to this client because they need my help. So let's come and you train yourself as well. So they can have that opportunity with us. I don't know if that's another program that I can allow them to do the same, but we do. We not only teach them in class, we had we mentioned that we have a progressing training. That means we're not going to give you more if you're not going to use it. That means people paying a lot of money for trainings and they never do anything, So we don't want them to spend money. I don't want for me to spend time with them if they're not going to take an action. I don't want that they lose money, and I don't want to lose my time. Because again, money and time, that's very valuable to me. So so that means that if we're going to give them some opportunities for them to get more training as far as they do more action. So if they're interested to know about that, they can visit my website and go and find out about the orientation meeting that we have for them.